And we are live. Hello, Red Dead Panda, are you there?
I am here. I don't know how we're connected because we live so far
I know.
apart. But
I think it's
the internet seems to work.
it's either the internet or the PS5 SSD connecting us through magic. Which I think it
Yeah,
is.
that is a possibility. I would agree with you there.
So here we are for
Um,
episode 34. Are you hyped?
hmm. I am hyped. Episode 34 of the Gamers Initiative podcast.
Podcast.
Yeah, I can't believe that.
I know.
Um, yeah.
And
And again, just to everyone watching, who does watch this after us doing this live, apologies about the time that this
again,
is
yeah.
coming out. It is just we are trying to work around, I guess, work commitments
Yeah.
and life commitments.
Yeah.
So just trying to find times that work out
Christmas,
for both.
we've got parties, drinks, stuff like that, and yeah.
So much drinks,
So trying
right?
to stay sober and work
Yeah.
and do a podcast. That sounds really bad, trying to stay sober like we're alcoholics, but yeah.
Well, I'll lump you in that category.
Yeah.
I'll stay in the sober when I need to be category.
It's
Sober when it counts.
Yeah. It's 8:45 in the morning for me, and I'm hungover, and I've got another drink tonight. Red's trying to resist drinking alcohol right now. Well, she's already had a few, and she's trying to resist drinking more because it's her evening.
Why are you telling all my secrets?
So
yeah.
Should we get into the show? So we've got a few topics, haven't we?
Yeah, we do have a few topics, but before we get into the show, very quickly, just to catch up on everything that's going on. But what have you been doing this week?
Right.
Have you been playing any games?
I've been playing a little bit of Conan because I've been playing too much of. I've not even played the campaign of Halo yet because I've just been playing the multiplayer. I'm really enjoying the multiplayer. So yeah, I've mainly just been playing Halo Infinite multiplayer really all week.
Are you gonna wait to play the campaign when you can play with someone else,
I
co-op,
don't
or you
really
just
care
gonna?
about that. I don't really care about the co-op. I've always played Halo when I did play a single player and just run through it.
Fair enough.
Possibly, I don't think I've ever played the co-op version of it. I'm just not that fussed because, as I said, I've never really been a big Halo fan anyway, so I can wait. So I'll just play it when I get some free time, then run through it. But I've been because I prefer the competitive gameplay anyway of multiplayer games, as you know. So I'm enjoying the multiplayer.
Fair enough.
So I'm just blasting that out. What have you been doing?
Well, it's heading up to that time of end of the year, so work's kind of ramping up while we try to get everything sorted before everyone goes on leave. I haven't really been doing much. Really, not gaming wise. Just been watching Wheel of Time, rewatching The Witcher season 2, season 1, ready for season 2 next Friday.
So your mind and body's prepared.
Yeah, exactly. What have I been doing? I maybe played a bit of Forza, and that's really about it. I'm just waiting for my Series X to arrive back in from Australia because I had to get a replacement device. So
is that why you're not
I'm just waiting for that.
Halo campaign yet?
That is why I'm not playing Halo campaign. I refuse, and I say this wholeheartedly, I refuse to play 30 FPS anymore on anything at all, unless the game can't be offered in the backwards compatibility mode through Xbox. Unless the game is they don't offer a 60 FPS mode, that's when I'll play 30 FPS. Other than that, I refuse to do it. It just judders and it looks awful, and I get a headache if I play, and I don't know. 60 FPS has ruined me for everything.
Thankfully,
So
Xbox doesn't have any 30 FPS games still coming out anymore, does it? I think it's moved on to 60, 120, isn't it?
If it does any 30, that'll be an option, and I'm never selecting it as an option unless I just wanted to look at it, the prettiness of the video games. Other than that, when I go play gameplay, 60 FPS all the way. Spoiled me with 60 FPS, guys. I can't believe that I played 30 FPS games for so long. I mean, I played 60, but you don't, and when you're consistently playing one frame rate and then you jump to the other one, it's quite jarring and quite a difference. So yeah. But yeah, let's get into some topics.
Okay, so to start us off, we want to talk about the Valkyrie Entertainment. So PlayStation have acquired a new studio called Valkyrie Entertainment. For anyone that doesn't know who they are, which is very likely
everyone.
Yeah, because
everyone who doesn't know who they are.
Yeah. Do you want to give some background on them, Red?
Yeah. So basically they are like a support studio. They've worked with both PlayStation and Xbox, and I guess most recently Valkyrie Entertainment actually helped 343 with Halo Infinite. But they've
Yeah,
also helped on franchises like God of War,
yeah,
like both God of War the reboot and God of War Ragnarok. They have helped with Infamous, Twisted Metal, a whole heap of games like Forza Motorsport 7, Middle of Earth, Shadow of War, Valorant, League of Legends. Um, so they've worked on all of these games, and I thought this was quite entertaining though. There's someone posted on Twitter, one of the people I follow, and sorry I'm bad with names, guys, to be honest. Um, and they said it's funny that PlayStation apparently only buys or acquires studios that they have worked with for organic growth. And I was like, yeah, exactly.
yeah,
It is funny how that was a narrative, and now that narrative is gone because no one cares about that narrative
yeah.
because PlayStation is needing studios now. But yeah, what are your thoughts
I think,
on this? Because
yeah,
I always have lots to say about
you
anything.
do, especially when you had a few drinks. I think it's interesting that PlayStation. I mean, they're doing the right moves. They're buying studios to sort of keep up with Xbox. I don't think it's really keeping up. It's sort of more like just like hanging in there. I
I think
think.
they're replacing studios that they've gotten rid of. So they're just, I guess,
Yeah, because
filling in the
they did get rid
gaps
of a
that they're
few,
missing.
and a lot of the studios they are buying recently are all like more like support studios. I mean, we've got these
Yeah.
guys who just a support studio, and then the others they've got are ones that are port games to PC. The other one sort of making mainly VR titles, and the other one made
Yeah.
remasters. So they're more like support studios rather than AAA blockbuster studios. So I don't know if they're
Yep.
getting them in to just help and support Naughty Dog, so Naughty Dog can make more games and stuff like that, and will work on more stuff. I'm not too sure. It'd be interesting to see if they do make something, though. I mean, they've had a couple of these studios now for more than a month, and they've not released any games yet, which I'm amazed by because when Xbox bought Bethesda and that, people were expecting games that day. So,
They thought that with Ninja Theory. They thought
yeah,
that
yeah,
with Compulsion Games,
yeah,
In Exile, Obsidian. Anytime Xbox purchased a studio, it was like, where are the games?
yeah. We were expecting these games
But they
now.
forget. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so when that's what I find funny. I still see it on Twitter, more on my channel. People saying stuff like those games because when they say what games are Xbox making, because they're still in denial that Xbox studios are making games, and then when I list them, they're saying you won't get those games for another 7 years, and it's
Mm.
weird because they were saying that back in 2019 these games won't be out for another 7 years, and in 2021 they're still
Yeah.
saying these games won't be out in another 7 years, and you just think it's I don't know. I don't know what to think because is that what denial is? Is that what ignorance is? It's just strange to think that these games are in some sort of time loop where they're continuously being taken 7 years to be made. But they're not keeping that same energy for Xbox, PlayStation studios. I think they can, like they think all their games are coming out in 2022 for a start, don't they? So which I very much doubt. I mean, I've still have doubts on God of War coming out in 2022. But we'll go
Yeah.
into that when we talk about the Game Awards.
Yeah, we will. We will. I just think it's interesting. That Valkyrie has worked on like supported so many games in studios in their been around since 2002. They were founded in 2002. So yeah, I think it's interesting. Um but I mean, it's not surprising. PlayStation has, like we were talking about, a lot of gaps to fill because they've let close down some studios and so on and so forth,
Yeah,
and they have the same issue that Xbox had around content creation, and making sure that there were enough games to sustain gamers over a long period of time. And I guess the difference between Xbox versus PlayStation around the games that they produce would be that Xbox doesn't tend to have what you would consider those one and done, and they're more those long. Their games have a lot more longevity, or they've got legs. Whereas a lot of the games that PlayStation are well known for, well curated, decent, honest games that any gamer would be happy to play. They're short, one and done. Like, I mean, you can go and play them again and again, but there's only so many times you can go play a game because gamers gamers as we are like nothing's really gonna is good enough. Like we're always wanting more,
Yeah.
and PlayStation sees that. So with these studios, they've got to be creating new IP, obviously, and it's going to take some time, and they've got to also absorb them into the PlayStation, I guess, studio family, and sort of make sure that these studios are well looked after and blah blah blah, organic growth. But I think I haven't. Has Valkyrie done any game by themselves? Because I mean, they've
I don't
helped, so
believe
I
so,
think it'll
no.
be interesting to see what they bring to the table.
Yeah.
And I think it's also interesting that I guess PlayStation is quite quiet about the other studios that they've acquired, whereas Xbox has been very much, and Phil has been very much like, we acquired the studio because they showed us something
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
like made us believe in their vision and believe that they were the right fit
Yeah.
for Xbox.
It's like
Whereas you don't
yeah.
hear that on the you don't
No.
hear that on the PlayStation side. You just hear a studio's been acquired, and
And
you
that's
I
it.
guess I don't feel the grandeur or understanding of why that studio was acquired. Whereas on Xbox side, you hear that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you do. You're right. Like Phil, for example, my voice is breaking. What's going on?
Because you're a fraud.
Yeah. I forgot to say that. Yes, yeah, it's like Phil. You could just sort of picture the scene when he talks about stuff like that. It's like when he goes to these studios, he's walking around. I can picture him walking around the studio saying, "Right, we want to acquire you. We want to throw a bunch of money at you. But what are you doing?
Mm.
What are you doing that can sort of impress us?" And it's like, "Come over here, Phil. Look at this. This is what we're working on right now. We're doing this. We're doing this. We're doing this." And he's like, "Okay, fine. Here's several £1 million. There you go." And it's like that's how I sort of picture the scene more or less. Whereas
Yeah.
Sony's like they're more of a case like we need a studio to
Mm.
do this or to help these.
Yeah.
Valkyrie can do it. Let's buy them. Valkyrie, here's some money. Go and support Naughty Dog. That's it.
Well, I think they're
And
gonna.
then they
I
put a
think
tweet
they.
out saying we bought Valkyrie. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I think they're gonna build it up, and I think it's. I think because they would have a lot of talent because of the many different types of games they've worked on and many different genres that they've worked
Yeah.
on, over their lifespan, that they've been around. So I think it's gonna be interesting to see what they bring. But it would be nice if PlayStation and actually came up and like I guess was a bit more offered a bit more candor to their fans and said like this is why we went out and did this and this. Like you definitely understand Blue Point because of that long history, and you understand Insomniac, but some of the other studio acquisitions you've grabbed, you're like, well, why?
Crunchyroll.
I mean, it's none of our business as gamers, but I think we're nosy and we're very invested in the industry and I guess the curation of games that we're one day going to enjoy. So I think it's really
Yeah.
important for us to understand sort of, I guess, where we hope things are going to go. And like, if I'm putting my money down on something, I kind of want to see, I guess, in my mind, a vision of where that money's going to end up. Like, I can see myself investing in this ecosystem because I know what's coming. Even with the I guess studios Xbox has like In Exile, Obsidian, and all of them, and Bethesda, and they all have a lot of I guess games that they've done, not just supported with, but actually done IP that they've created and done. Whereas a lot of the studios, I guess PlayStation's been acquiring in the last year, haven't felt the same.
No.
If that makes sense.
Not, yeah,
There's
I
that
agree.
organic growth they're
I mean,
going for.
who can even name the studios? I mean, as you said, one of them. What was it?
Nexus.
Yeah.
There was like Nexus and
Nexus. Yeah.
like Fire Sprite or Fire.
Yeah, Fire Sprite was it?
I don't know, Fire something.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Let's say there was Crunchyroll as well in there.
Well, that's not a studio, though, right?
No, yeah. I announced it though with the others' name. Remember though that who was it? GameSpot made that really cringe trailer for all the studios they acquired.
What,
They
the
tried to
Fire
compete with
Sprite
Bethesda. And they
House
had
Marquee, was
Crunchyroll
that
in
a
it.
acquire this year?
Oh yeah, House
House
Marquee.
Marquee was acquired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, should we move on?
Yeah.
Let's go on to the Game Awards, shall we? So, Video Game Awards. I finished watching it today. I finished watching it about half an hour ago. Because it was long. So, what have you got? What's your impression? Do you want to give a quick impression of the Game Awards? Are we going to go for what are we going to do? Did you make
Uh,
a list? Are we going to run for the games, or are
I
we just
didn't
sort
make a
of
list of the
nah?
games. I sent you that link with the biggest announcements type
Yeah,
thing. Because I think we can definitely there's definitely some games I do want to kind of shone the light on and focus on and talk about.
yeah. So
But
shall I just say?
overall, this
Go on.
yep,
I was just
no,
going to
go.
say the games. I think just off the bat, the games I am looking most forward to is Hellblade 2. I liked a game called Nightingale. That looked good. Crossfire X still looks impressive. I'm looking forward to that. What was the game they showed at the end? Not the Matrix, the one just before that.
I don't
What that was
remember what one
called.
they showed
No.
right at the end
And
because there
June.
was
I really like June. That tickled my fancy because I played June back in the 80s, maybe early 90s, which is an RTS, and I really like that. It's a fantastic game, and I'm glad they've brought that back. I don't know if you see that. That was thrown in there. So, yeah, they've made another June RTS. So, those are the games that really tickled my fancy. There wasn't much else, I would say.
yeah.
But we'll get into that. Go on, what tickled your fancy? What did you like the look of? Hello?
Let's see. What didn't I like the look of? No, I'm kidding. This is a shorter one. No, there was a lot. Okay, so I guess Suicide Squad killed the
Oh, yeah.
Justice League. Like we actually saw a bit more about that, and I feel a
Yeah.
lot more invested in that because that's coming from Rocksteady,
Yeah.
who did your oh my god, The Dark Knight. No, not Dark Knight. What are they called?
Yeah,
I think of
Batman,
Arkham Knight,
Arkham Knights, yeah.
Arkham City.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, that
So
looked good. It looked better
that
than
looked really good.
the new Batman one coming out. Was the Batman Court of Owls one? Where you play with
Oh,
Robin
was
and
it
stuff like
the
that.
Night one?
Yeah,
Was it that
Gotham
Night?
Knights. Yeah,
Yeah.
Suicide Squad actually looks better than that. So
Yeah, I kind of like because we saw that announcement and then and we've seen the different announcements and then I saw this and I'm like, I actually get a feeling for the game a lot more. And do you know what it did remind me of? It definitely reminded me of Guardians of the
Galaxy,
Galaxy, like
yeah, the
I guess
comedy,
that kind of yeah,
yeah,
and the fact of like got a squad type, you've got more than one person playing. I don't know how it's actually going to play. Like, I guess we'll learn more when it gets closer to the date of its
yeah.
release,
I
but
hope they make it
because it's
multiplayer
slated for
co-op.
next year.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, but that's the kind of vibe I got from it, and I really, really was impressed with the look of it. Star Wars Eclipse.
oh
I
yeah,
wasn't expecting a Star Wars game. I'm like, what is this? What is this? What
yeah.
is this?
I'm still
And I was
unsure
like, it's
about it.
definitely Star Wars, but
Yeah,
I wasn't sure. But I was like, as long as it's okay. It's done by Quantic Dream, the guys who did Detroit Become Human.
yeah.
I don't know, like, because they kind of, I don't know
Which looks
how
fantastic.
I yeah, the
Detroit,
game,
so
the Detroit Become Human looks fantastic, but I just remember, do you remember when that game came out and they were really, really
yeah,
cocky
yeah,
and kind of just did the middle finger to Xbox
yeah.
fans with their cockiness on Twitter. So I still kind of have a sour taste in my mouth about them,
And then
but
the game died,
yeah,
and it went to PC really
um,
quickly.
yeah.
That's what I'm like.
Well, I hope they redeem themselves because it didn't look like it was what was that one slated for all platforms? I couldn't remember actually.
I can't. I
But
think it was. Yeah, I think it was. The only thing is, yeah, it looked good, just like Detroit does. It looked
there
pleasing.
was no
No
gameplay
gameplay,
because it was
which
just
makes me wonder if it's going to be like Detroit, where it's going to be more of just a QTE sort of
because
thing.
I was like, if that's gameplay, that looks bloody impressive, and
Yeah,
I'm keen.
yeah,
Because I just love Star Wars, like
yeah.
love Star
Universe.
Wars.
Yeah.
Um, but what was there was another one that really really caught my fancy, and I really really liked the look of it, and it would have been uh, just, well, I really liked the look of it, and I think I got more of an idea about it this time round. Tiny Tina's Wonderland. I'm
Yeah.
like really, really want to play that. Like that for me, I liked what I saw the first time I saw it, and I really like the look of it, and even more now. Like you got to see a bit more of the gameplay, the gunplay, like magic, etc., etc. The cheekiness and the comedy, the art style looks. I don't know. It really hit me more than I guess I've played Borderlands. And for me, Borderlands, and I'm going to sound horrible for saying this, is meh in keeping my attention.
Yeah, it's got stamp.
Because there's so many gunplay games like that. But I think because this one kind of has that fantasy element to it as well, with that borderline-esqueness and that beautiful art style. I was quite intrigued by it, and I really, really want to play that game.
Well, Xbox has got
Um,
Redfall coming out next year, which is in the same vein of sort of
yeah,
Borderlands. It's meant to be a big open Borderlands-esque world, but with
yeah,
vampires instead, so that'd be interesting.
yeah.
So I'm
So
looking forward
yeah,
to that.
I'm keeping that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about this later. We'll definitely talk about this later, but Hellblade 2, because I really want to do a deep dive and discuss Hellblade 2.
Yeah.
Um, uh, else was there? There was some announcement for a Wonder Woman game, and I'm like, as long as it's not someone trying to do Avengers, and it's kind of like in that DC universe where they
Yeah.
actually do decent games, because it's DC, and you're a Marvel fan, and I'm a DC fan.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So we hate each
how do we
other.
podcast together? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
My plastic's
Um,
better than
I'm
yours.
intrigued. Obviously, it was only an announcement and like a placeholder, like kind of Wolverine was, and kind of the way they did Indiana Jones was, and
Yeah.
said like this is a game that we're working on, and I'm like here for it. It's the same studio that did Middle of Earth: Shadow of War. Who's that?
Oh,
Do you know that?
yeah, I don't know who that was. It wasn't
Is that
Epic.
Monolith?
Monolith. Oh, yeah, Monolith.
Monolith?
Could have been,
Is that
possibly.
Monolith? Maybe, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. So Wonder Woman, I want to see more on that. Obviously, it's only an announcement, and I'm like keen because I was like, yay. Um,
Yeah, I want to see
but
some
the
gameplay as well.
Halo trailer for the TV show on Paramount
Yeah.
Plus, I was like keen to
A
watch
channel
that.
nobody has. Yeah.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
can't even get it in the UK, so that was like, ugh.
Side note, as soon as they played Star Trek, I was like, skip. I'm
Yeah.
not here for the games. I'm sorry, I'm just not. I'm not. I like Star Trek as something to watch,
Yeah.
but I just wasn't there. But I
The
mean,
games do tend to be a
it,
bit dull,
it's
a bit slow
like
paced.
maybe it's gonna be good because a lot of the people behind that studio, are like veterans of the Telltale.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we've got
Studio.
Telltale as well. Telltale's game. They're back, aren't
Yeah,
they?
what were they?
And their game looked
What they
completely
do?
different. It wasn't a Telltale sort of esque story at all. It was, what was that one now? Their game looked quite impressive graphically. I was shocked by that.
The Expanse, was that the one?
Possibly, yes, could have been The Expanse.
That looked quite good.
Yeah, it looked good, but I'm
You
not
know,
sure what to expect from it.
I liked Nightingale as well, and
Yeah,
I know you like that style of game, and I did
yeah.
think of you when I
Oh,
saw that.
oh.
One moment, guys.
Yeah. Nightingale,
Um,
definitely. Yeah, this is like a sandbox building, sort of fighting
so
multiplayer
yeah,
game.
I guess my highlights, because like they showed a lot of games, like they showed so much crap. I mean, like absolute crap. Like they even showed like
There
Horizon
was.
Forbidden West again, and you and I were like, why are they showing this
Yeah,
again when it's
yay.
coming out? They've showed it so much. I don't think they need
It's
to
meant to
show
be
it
coming out in
anymore.
February, and they're doing what they did to Ratchet and
Um,
Clank, where they just spammed it.
'Cause
They just
you say that, right?
saturated
Five
it.
Nights at Freddy's, don't they have the marketing rights with PlayStation? Do they? I can't actually remember.
I don't know.
But
They're on
that's
Game Pass.
releasing like now, isn't it? Isn't it like releasing like within the next couple of days or something?
Is it?
Um, yeah, it's like releasing December. Is it out already? I have no idea. It's meant to be
Okay.
releasing December. Heard nothing about that.
No. It's like what they
Nothing.
did with Kena. Remember when Kena, which won an award, but then when Kena came out, people were saying, like, that PlayStation didn't advertise it at all. Remember they kept advertising Deathloop? And people were
Yep.
like, you've got Kena coming out, why are you not advertising it? And then that just
Yep.
dropped on PlayStation, and they didn't mention it. And then it wins an award.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
Well, I think overall, like my two biggest things were like Tiny Tina's Wonderland would have been one of my big highlights. And then I was expecting this, Hellblade 2, the trailer for
Yeah,
Hellblade
I
2.
think it was.
But I think if we're gonna talk about like video game awards, I really need to talk about how trash they were.
Yeah,
I really hated them this year.
my gripe was from both sides. They really, especially Jeff, he was really hyping it up on Twitter all week, wasn't he? Saying, "Is everyone ready for it?
Mm-hmm.
We've got this X amount of premieres. You've got some things that are going to blow your mind. Yada yada yada." And he kept doing that all week, and everyone was
Yep.
speculating, "Oh, we're going to see gameplay of Hellblade 2, which we sort of expected. Starfield might show something. Avowed, possibly Fable, and then the PlayStation camp are doing the same. Or we might see God of War Ragnarok, Silent Hill, and both sides just throwing in stuff. We never see any of it. They literally, both sides, I mean, we've got Hellblade 2, which was nice to actually see more and some gameplay. So that was fine. But that was it for Xbox pretty much. And then on the PlayStation side, they showed even less. They just showed another trailer of Horizon Zero Dawn. That was
Sonic
it.
thing that they did. The Sonic segment was quite entertaining.
Oh yeah, with well, the Jim Carrey, the
Jim
movie.
Carrey.
Yeah, and then Slash it went into it. Later on, it showed the game of it, didn't it? It showed a game.
Yes, yeah, because there's a new game coming out. But yeah, like, what did you actually think of the actual whole show as a whole? Like,
so as a whole, it's too long. It's they put it on a weird time because I think it was 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. here in the UK. So
like 1 o'clock in the afternoon for me. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's all right for you. Yeah, the Americans. I think
I was
it 1 in the
working
morning
though,
for
so I couldn't
America,
watch it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, so you could watch it because it was in the afternoon, so everyone would be working.
It was on a work day. I was working, so I couldn't.
It was 5 in the morning for us in the UK, so we couldn't watch it unless we didn't. We took a day off work and just stayed up until 5 in the morning. Got up at 5 in the morning. And America, it was like 1 in the morning, wasn't it? I don't know.
No, I think it was. I think it might have been, depending on where you are. I think it was like maybe midday-ish. No, evening. It would have been evening, depending on where you are. I think it would have been.
Oh, right.
Maybe evening-ish. I actually have no idea. Time zones are confusing, guys.
Yeah.
Well,
Because
it's not that confusing. I just don't have time.
That's why I'm getting 1 a.m. from. I
don't have time
I was
for the
Googling
time.
to find out what the times is actually starting. I'm pretty sure I see 1 a.m. somewhere.
Yeah.
In the States, but yeah, and it was too long, and as always, he rushed past the actual awards. More focuses on. I don't know why he just don't drop the awards. Just turns this into an E3, is he, or a Gamescom? That's what he seems to be more focused on. The awards, they do just brush through them.
Yeah.
And he just flies through them all. Sometimes he'll do a few at once, wouldn't he? Go and then we'll this. Right, let's look at some more game clips and some more premieres. And the games, they show lots of games and plenty of games, but I don't think there was anything there that really blew my mind, or it was like, oh wow, that's special, that's something new, or that's. I think pretty much we've seen everything.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen gameplay of Hellblade 2. But
what are you talking about? That was gameplay.
Yeah, we've seen gameplay of Hellblade 2. We'd already seen. I was expecting when he was talking about your minds are going to be blown. I was really expecting to see some new stuff that was going to blow minds, and some stuff from Sony and Xbox that was going to some stuff that we've not seen, like more of Fable possibly or Starfield. I was really hoping for stuff like that. We didn't see it, and it was like, oh.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought I agree with you. It's way too long.
Yeah,
and
3.5 hours.
For a video game awards, because they had the pre-show
Yeah.
where they gave out a couple of awards and blah blah blah. But like for a video game awards, to skip over so many awards and just kind of just go the winner for this and the winner for this and so on and so forth, and stuff so much in, like the pacing of it was awful.
Yeah.
There was so much chucked into it. Like, who cares about the most listened to song on Spotify?
Yeah.
Like, who cared about that?
Yeah.
Like, for me,
I
wanted. It wasn't even an award. It was just like bits and pieces, and the ridiculous amount of advertising in there. Yeah. I was like, I want my time back.
Is it Amazon?
Prime Gaming, which is fine. It's fine. I'm not worried about that. But like, who cared about Spotify? Who cared about a whole heap of other rubbish that was in there? It was just like to go look at all these beautiful game announcements and then chucked in with all this trash filler with it, and then do the awards, and then it was just consistent like that. And I feel like previous video game award years have been a lot more concise and a lot more about the awards and game announcements. And I know it's getting bigger, and they're trying to bring a bigger audience, and like some of the stuff was really cool, but some of the orchestra stuff, I don't know. Like some of the songs were on point, some of them were not on point. Like I don't know.
It just hit the nail on the head there. I think Jeff is trying to encapsulate too much, and I think that's what's drawing out. I think he's trying to make it a video game show / music game show, music award show / movie award show. I think he's trying to pull in like the MTV awards, the Oscars, and the game awards all into one thing. That's what I'm getting the impression, because he seems to be all over the place with the music. There's so much music there now.
I feel like he's overcompensating for last year as well, because they couldn't do it in person like they would have normally. I agree. He's doing too much.
Yeah, and
like
too much.
if we'd done a little less around some of that, and maybe had like 1-2 performances
Yeah.
max,
Yeah.
a lot less of other stuff, I think it would have been much more bearable to watch
Yeah.
as a gamer who wants to watch announcements
Yeah.
and devs get recognized for their dues of what they've done. Was there any shock surprises on any awards that were won? Like Deathloop did so well
Yeah,
last
it
night
did.
or
Yeah.
yesterday.
Won a couple, didn't it?
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
There's
won a couple.
no real surprise
Take
though.
Two won a couple,
Yeah, and won the Game
and
of the Year award.
Take Two to win the Game of the Year award. That was one of my the games of the year for
Yeah.
this year. Like that game was so good.
Yeah.
And if you haven't played it, I do recommend you play it. Play it with someone who
It's on Game Pass, isn't it?
it's now on Game Pass. Yeah, I bought it when it wasn't on Game Pass. I didn't buy it brand new. Like I wasn't paying like full price for it. I waited till it was on sale. As any smart gamer,
No, you must pay full price and support the devs.
I supported them, and so played that. I've played that game through twice now. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. But yeah, it's just interesting. And well done to the to his studio getting recognized for It Takes Two, because what the game they did before that was A Way Out or something, and that was also a co-op game, and I think they learned
That's
a
the
lot from
prison
that
one,
first game. Yeah, that's the prison one.
Yeah.
They learned a lot from that game,
Yeah.
and then made this one. And the cool thing about that game, you haven't played it yet, Lee, have you?
No.
Is it's consistently evolving, and like you don't get bored because every new section you go into, they give you a new ability and take away your old one. So you have to learn how to work together
Okay.
with this
Yeah.
with your new
Maybe we should
skills.
run
And
through it then.
that,
Maybe we should play it.
yeah,
We
it's
need to
really,
play it with someone.
really, really good. I recommend. I don't like for me because I've played it like twice. Maybe play through with someone who hasn't played it because I think it's quite cool to learn together and try and figure it out together.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you've got no one else to play with, I'm happy to do it. I love that game. But yeah, it's well deserved, and any of the other ones, like I think Forza Horizon 5 only got one award. Was it one award or two?
That was
Can't even
for
remember.
music or sound. It was for sound.
Sound.
I think it got two. I think it got one for.
Sound, and one was.
Was there best racer there anymore, or have they got rid of that now? Or best sports game?
It was best. There was like best something in simulation game.
Yeah.
And
what won that?
got? Oh man, I have to go find my list. I've got.
Because he breezes through them so quickly, you miss a lot of stuff.
Okay. Game of the year.
Best sport, because it used to be a best sports, so they removed that now. Now, Xbox wins it every year with a sports game.
Direction, best narrative. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy got best narrative, and like Colt and Dela kept talking and like saying like this is great.
That was quite shocking actually.
Yeah, Replicant got best.
Didn't get any awards, did it? I was shocked by that.
I don't think so. No. Best audio design was Forza Horizon 5.
Yeah. That's because they use the ray tracing for audio, didn't they?
You think of like, and I know that.
We mentioned, which they didn't tell you, Halo Infinite. Anyone that don't know, won Player's Choice.
It won Player's Choice, and kudos to Halo Infinite. But I really wish it had got Forza Horizon 5.
Yeah. There was
But
a lot of tears in the internet.
There were so many Xbox games in that, so that was fine.
Yeah.
Best indie was Kena Bridge of Spirit, and well done to them. I still wish it had kind of been like Death's Door.
Yeah, which didn't get any nominations at all in any category, did it?
Yeah, Death's Door got best indie. One for that. Best indie debut indie game was Kena Bridge of Spirits, and I feel like the Artful Escape should have got that.
Yeah, because Kena didn't look anything. It looked nice graphically, but it sort of looked like pretty standard, like your Ratchet and Clank and that. I think I agree. It should have went to something that was trying to push more boundaries, like the Artful Escape or even Psychonauts. I don't think Kena White looked nice. It looked just like Ratchet and Clank and games we've already seen before.
Innovation and accessibility. That was the other one Forza Horizon 5 got. Because they have gone out of their way to make things. Best action adventure, best RPG, best fighting, best family game, best sports and racing game. Oh no, it did get best sports / racing game, so it got 3 awards last night. Well
yeah,
done.
that's what I thought. Yeah, okay, cool. There we go. 3 awards.
Yeah. I was happy, and I was like, my sister and I were saying, like, I hope It Takes Two gets best multiplayer, and it got best multiplayer. So well
Really?
done, kudos. Yeah, it got best multiplayer. Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was disappointed with now, which I think is shocking. Best ongoing game.
I was surprised about that
Sea of Thieves
too.
not nominated again, not even getting a nomination, and who won it?
I can't even remember.
Because last year No Man's Sky won it, and Sea of Thieves once again didn't even get a nomination. And I'm shocked the amount of effort and time they put into No Man's Sea of Thieves, giving all the DLC and all free as well, and it still gets no nominations. While all the other games they showed, the ongoingness is all microtransactions and paid for, like Fortnite. Fortnite's always there, but yeah, you know the amount of money they're making and stuff. And actually, I think it's shocking. I can't remember what won it now. Was it Fortnite? Was it Fortnite? Was it?
It was Apex Legends, Final Fantasy.
Oh, it's Final Fantasy at one, wasn't it?
Fortnite, Genshin Impact, and Call of Duty. Was it?
Call of Duty. Wow.
Yeah. Final Fantasy 14 won it. Yeah.
Yeah. The Call of Duty up there. It's no Sea of Thieves. That's what's just shocking. And they just done all that Pirates of the Caribbean thing as well. And all their DLC's free. They just give all that free updates. Like, and it's incredible how far the game's come, and it's still not got any kind of recognition for everything they've brought from since launch to now.
Yeah. I mean, I know they try and say like the video games isn't really catered to actual, I guess, gamers specifically, but it kind of is.
Yeah.
We invest so much time, effort, and money into supporting these developers that they can even, you know, like, and they obviously invest time, money in making sure that they support us as gamers. Yeah. But I don't know, it just didn't. It felt like it was.
I was shocked Warzone.
It just felt rubbish.
Yeah, I was shocked Warzone anyway.
The whole thing just felt
long, and I skipped.
I started skipping stuff at points, and I was like, "Is that a trailer? Play."
Yeah.
Because I'm glad I didn't get to watch it live, because I wouldn't have been able to skip half of anything.
Yeah.
If I had to if I was watching that live, I would have pulled my eyes out of my socket.
Yeah. I would have probably pulled my eyes out of my sockets and injected heroin into them, then put it back in my socket.
And then put them back in. Well, it's stimulating. But, like, I guess right at the very beginning, and this is the hard thing about the Game Awards, like, when they actually started, not the pre-show, was right at the very beginning we had, Hellblade 2 start. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay. So Hellblade 2 is kind of kicking it off with a big game announcement.
And you think, oh, here we go, it's going to be good.
Like, it's going to be good, it's going to be good, it's going to be good.
And that looked fantastic.
It was not. Oh my, yeah, we're going to talk about that. We're definitely talking about that. That game blew my fucking mind. We can talk about it now while we're at it. What did you think?
The PlayStation fans are in denial. They're saying Horizon Zero Dawn 2 looks better, and they're trying to claim it isn't gameplay. They're trying to say it's a cutscene. They're at absolute denial. Even though Jeff said that's gameplay, that's actual gameplay. The PlayStation fans as always, my voice is going saying
you're a fraud.
It's a cutscene. It's all cutscenes. It's not gameplay. They're lying to you. It's just weird. They're a weird fan base. And you got stupid people like Salty and King Thrash that are doing super zoom-ins on it and trying to look for faults.
Comparing it to what?
Horizon Forbidden West. Forbidden West. Comparing it to that with the super zoom-ins, which is ridiculous.
Well, what were your impressions of the trailer? It looked rubbish. What?
I had to show my wife because it looked fantastic. It did look like a movie. It does look like a movie, and it looks. And I think I said this about a year ago. We won't see next gen gaming until Hellblade 2 comes out, and I think
say something.
And I think that's it. Yeah. That this when you see that trailer compared to everything there and anything we've seen so far, that looks like true next gen. The true next gen game. And I don't think anything's going to beat that. Horizon Zero Dawn won't beat it. God of War won't beat it. We've already seen God of War. I don't think there'll be anything to compete with that for a good while, unless obviously
not having It's obviously got no announcement date or release date, release year. When do you think this game would potentially be coming out?
I think 2023 personally. I reckon it's going to drop
2023?
2023. Yeah.
I think you're probably right. I think they're going to make sure that it's probably going to be your end of 2023 game.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I feel like Starfield is going to be your 2022 game,
Yeah.
your big,
I
big,
think
big
every
game.
Christmas they're looking to bring a massive blockbuster. So this year we had Halo, obviously, and Halo and Horizon. Next year we know Starfield, and I think the following year, the following Christmas will be Hellblade 2. And then I reckon the following Christmas after that will probably be Fable.
Yep, yep. And
reckon
I mean, that's hard to say like when anything's coming out because there's so many games coming
Yeah.
on the Xbox side. Like, where is Perfect Dark going to fit into there? Where is
Yeah.
Avowed going to fit into there? Where is everything going to fit into there? So, I mean,
And at some
like,
point they're going to
like
have to release some of these games within the same year, that's when it's
I
going to go
know.
crazy. When you're going to get a year, when you're going to get possibly Fabled, Avowed, and Indiana Jones dropping in the same year. That's how's
Oh,
you
yeah.
going to compete with that?
Mm.
That's just mental.
That's what they're at 17 studios now. So 17 versus 23.
Yeah.
So 5 studio difference. So I guess they're trying to they're making the gap smaller. But back to Hellblade 2. I guess
It looks
I've
so
watched that
dark as
trailer.
well. The giant sort of was he sort of
Yeah.
crippled or something? The way he was just he had no legs. He was just dragging himself along.
He looked crippled because his hand was like munted, but he also looked like you could tell he was like made of stone,
Yeah.
kind of as well. Like he was like because that was cool when he like merged and like started to like go to sleep type thing. I don't know what he was doing actually, but and then he started to become rock, and they were trying to stop him from doing that, and she's
Yeah.
like they like throw that thing at his shoulder, and then she throws the spear and he catches on fire, and then that chase begins, and like that guy runs past her in flames, and there's a beautiful scene where you've just got the smoke, and you can see the light shafts like coming through it, and it just
Yeah.
there's no artifacting in it. Like the smoke looks so good, the lighting. Because remember there was that not leak. Ninja Theory showed that screenshot of them playing around with lighting and stuff and that.
Yeah.
Like for me, because like I said, I've watched this about five times. The first time I watched it, I don't know. I was quite tired and I had a bit of a migraine, and the lighting in the eyes just looked a little different. Like I was like, it doesn't look quite right. Then I watched it a second time, and I'm like, oh yeah, I definitely see it. But every time I've watched it, I've seen something different. And
Have you?
my
I'll tell you
sister
what.
pointed out,
I was going to say, have you watched it with a headset on?
I haven't yet. I've got to do that.
Because I watched it, and you can't hear it when you watch it without a headset, but you can hear the voices in her head talking when you listen to a headset on.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it does make you look around. It does sound like there's someone whispering in
3D
your ear.
audio.
Yeah, there's someone whispering in your ear occasionally, and it changes ears. So you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't hear it
Yeah.
normally, but you need a headset. So I encourage everyone to watch it again, but with the headset on.
And I do want. That's my next thing. I haven't been at home. I was at my sister's house, so I didn't have my nice headphones to do that. So now I'm at my house. I can actually
Yeah.
listen, rewatch it, but with proper headphones and that offer that surround sound. But if you look at right at the very end of the trailer, my sister pointed this out for me because I was too busy focusing on other things because there's so much to look at. Like that trailer is absolute trailer. Sorry, why do I keep saying trailer? That snippet of gameplay, because it is gameplay, and it's so beautiful to look at. Like every time I've looked, I've picked up something different. Like the way her hair moves, and the way the clothing moves, and everything like that. Like right at the very end, if you're looking at her face, and I've never really seen this in-game footage type thing, close up. Her iris pupils actually adjust.
Yeah. Dilute.
They go big and then small, like they dilate. And I was like, you don't really see that in these style of games
Nah.
at that fidelity. And like the way her tear runs down her cheek, and you can just see like it looks so realistic, like it's actually going down real skin, and the way the light like reflects off her skin. Like,
And I think it
I was
adjusts
like,
the paint on her
so
face as it
freaking
runs down.
impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was so freaking impressed, and it was like, this is what next gen is going to be like. And you and I have been talking about, like, I felt like this was going to be a showcase piece, and like, and people were saying it's a downgrade from what they showed in 2019 as an announcement. But Phil was like, this is what they've got in engine. targeting Series X performance. So he didn't say this is what the final product will be. Obviously, it's subject to change, and it looks like they've made some changes from that first showing to now because they've done things with lighting and
gameplay's never going to compare to
gameplay.
the cutscene, is it?
Yeah, what they showed in that cutscene though was running at 24 FPS.
Yeah.
This was not running at 24 FPS. It was running at higher. And I think it's going to be interesting, and I would like to watch, I guess, Digital Foundry do a tech analysis on what they saw on this, because I think that would be really cool to kind of look at the intricacies of what they're doing with Unreal Engine 5, because it's Unreal Engine 5, guys, and for those who don't believe this, it can run on Xbox.
Yeah. I know. And first, there'll be Unreal Engine 5 will be first on Xbox. After all those demos that Sony showed off, obviously trying to take away the thunder. The first games we'll be seeing use Unreal Engine 5 will be on Xbox.
This goes to show, this game, Hellblade 2, goes to show, like, when you have a talented studio that you can pump some money into so they don't have to worry about the lights going off, and they can actually, focus and hire more people to help cultivate their vision and execute it, this is the end result. And I can't wait to play this game. And it's still in development, so by the end of it, by the time we get the game that releases, it's either going to look just like that, or even better. And that's the thing, like, it's still in development, it's still being done, and that was very curated piece, ready to show off at the Game Awards, but I still think, like, we haven't even begun to see what the rest of the game is going to bring. Exactly, because it's like when you go think about what they showed in 2019, and you guys see that guy in The Rock, and it's like they've just shown another version of that, and so on and so forth. But I think it's interesting to hear, who did Colin Moriarty? Was it Colin Moriarty who said why purchase Ninja Theory?
I was thinking the same thing when I was watching it. When that came on, and Colin Moriarty was like, why would you purchase Ninja Theory? What can they do? And then when I was watching, I was thinking, Colin, you're an idiot.
You're an
must
idiot.
be eating his words right now.
Colin, the memes are coming, Colin. The memes are coming.
They will be. You go, Colin's face. Why would you purchase these? And then it's gonna be mental.
So as soon as I saw this, I was like, this is a next gen game, because it is next gen. It's only going to be available on PC, Series S, Series X, and cloud gaming.
Yeah.
Not coming. It's not cross gen.
No.
And you can tell it's not cross-gen. Like, when I saw this, and then when they showed Horizon Zero Dawn, Forbidden West, sorry. Horizon Forbidden West, you could definitely tell, in comparison of the two, that was a cross-gen game. Yes, it's beautiful. It is beautiful, and it is targeting good specs in relation to the PS5, but it is cross-gen, and as everyone has been saying, especially the PlayStation guys, that you guys aren't experiencing any next-gen games because all our game, like, blah 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 blah, most of your games are cross-gen. There's only a couple of games that a couple of games on Xbox that are next-gen only. But there's not many games that are next-gen only on PlayStation yet either, and until they actually are, you're not going to be seeing what you're seeing on Hellblade, because that was one of the most impressive looking games ever seen at this point. For a video game. For the fidelity it's offering. For the size of the studio.
Well, that's what I just thought about, actually. They didn't show Stalker 2, which is coming out in next April. And that's using Unreal Engine 5 as well, and on Xbox, exclusive to Xbox for, I think,
I don't think they need to show here.
But,
I don't think it needs.
But when are they going to show that? Because it'd be coming out before E3. So that's why I'm surprised they didn't show any of that.
Probably in Jan, maybe in January, towards the end of Jan.
There's no game shows though, so they just have to sort of release a trailer for it, I guess.
Yeah, probably do an in-depth thing. Maybe. Who knows? But I guess the other thing for this is, for those idiots in the world who are trying to say that we didn't see gameplay, that
Denial.
This is a downgrade, and so on and so forth. If you've ever played Hellblade 1, if you've ever played it, and for those who haven't, and I know there are a lot of people who haven't played it, people are going to go and play this game now because they want to play Hellblade 2.
Yeah.
And they want to experience Senua's experience, like her journey of how she gets from where she is in Hellblade 1 to where she begins in Hellblade 2.
Yeah.
That journey, I think, is going to be really important. But if you've ever played Hellblade 1, there is no HUD. You don't have a HUD in that game.
Yeah.
So for people to think that's not gameplay because there's no HUD on there. There's no HUD in that game. The game doesn't hold your hand. And in order for you to find out the controls of the game, you have to go into the menu. It doesn't teach you how to play the game. You have to figure out how to play the game yourself.
It's kind of
Or
like
check the controls.
several Xbox
In the
games like that.
menu.
Sea of Thieves is like that. It just throws you into
Yeah.
the game world and you have to just learn through experience
You have to
rather
learn.
than just hold your hand.
Yeah, there's no HUD in the game.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be no HUD in this one because that's not the point. Like, if you want an immersive game that is about I guess a journey or story like what they're trying to do with this, and I think it's very different to what you're seeing when you look at other very story-driven games done by voice curated by PlayStation. This, I guess, the mature themes, the fact it's about mental health and other things. I feel like if you were to put a HUD in that game, it would detract away from the experience that you get when you play it with headphones. So I don't know. Like people are just trying any reason to try and damage control, or feel less threatened about what is coming in the next few years. And I can tell you what is coming in the next few years: Xbox.
Yeah. And I'll tell
And
you
their
what,
game.
and I think Starfield's going to have the same impact as Hellblade 2. I think that's secretly going to blow people's minds, what they're doing with it.
Mm-hmm.
Same as
I would
Perfect
agree.
Dark as well. I think Perfect Dark might be an underdog. I think when that comes out, I think that might be like a mind blower. And I think they're keeping that really top secret.
I think the biggest thing about the Game Awards was this Hellblade 2.
Easily. Yeah, easily. After they showed that trailer, I was expecting more. And then at the end of it, I thought, well, Hellblade 2 was the only thing that looked next gen and impressive there. Of all those games. Really, to be honest.
You can just see the dedication and effort that they've put into like when they've done all their sounds and stuff, and like the music. I can just tell, like, I don't know. I'm gonna feel very immersed and in that game because, like, I it's just like I struggled, and I'll be honest, I struggled with Hellblade 1 because I get easily scared, and there were like scenes that, and it's quite a dark game and so on and so forth. So there's some things that like creeped me out in it. And it's not that it's a creepy game or anything. It just I didn't like that fact about it. But I I soldiered on through because I loved the story and the journey and the visuals. Obviously, the visuals were absolutely stunning. And I know there's going to be things in this one that will probably creep me out and I won't like. But I'm going to go through it anyway because I feel like it's worth it.
I don't like...
And
yeah. I don't like single player games, and I tried Hellblade, and I played it for 10 minutes and thought, oh, I can't do it. But I might actually...
You've got to give me more than 10 minutes.
I know.
Definitely got to
I just don't like single player games, I just get bored of them. It's usually the pacing, but I might go back now, with this coming out, I might go back and just plough through it.
Try and just plow through it.
Yeah.
There are some puzzles in it which... And some fight scenes and stuff where you're going to be like,
can you skip them like the option they give Ratchet and Clank where you can just skip puzzles?
No, you can't skip the puzzles.
What?
The puzzles are part of, I guess, her journey and like really trust what she sees and so on and so forth.
It's like and stuff in her head coming.
I don't. Yeah, and also like the way that her, like, I guess her schizophrenia reacts to everything when playing that game, like the all the whispering in your ears, it's very much I guess comes alive, and you don't know, like, do you trust you as the gamer playing and you've got you have your own voice in your head, or do you kind of listen to what they're saying while you play the game? And I think it's kind of interesting to think of it in that way. But yeah,
yes,
I don't know. Like,
I don't know if you could hear it about
it's
the headset.
highlighted.
Yeah, but no, the scene where she's running the giants after her and she's running. I don't know if and then that fire lights up and she runs through the fire.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could hear it. You couldn't really hear it
Something
normally. But you hear a voice in her head that says, with a headset on, you can hear a voice in her head that says, light the fire. And that's when she shouts out, light the fire. The fire goes up and she runs through it. And another voice in her head says, too soon, like that.
Yes, I heard the too soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's sort of like, yeah, she's got a schizo freely sort of arguing itself in her head, and it's interesting.
Hello. I'm not going to attempt to butcher your first name, but Mr. Owens.
Yeah.
There was a narrative brewing that Xbox players don't have anything to play after Halo and Forza until Starfield comes out, but it looks like that isn't the case. Yes!
Yeah. Oh,
I replied to some a-hole on Twitter about that same thing today because I was super effed off, and I'm trying not to swear, guys.
We've got Stalker 2's April, we've got
I
Crossfire
was
X,
super pissed off.
Warhammer.
Welcome to
the guns coming out in a week.
It's the 16th, less than a week. So it'll be Thursday for me, but probably actually Friday for me.
Yeah, so gun coming out in less than a week. As I said, we've got Crossfire X, which I showed at the Game Awards show, which looks great, and it's Xbox exclusive. Stalker 2, Warhammer. You've got Redfall. I still think Forza Motorsports is going to drop next year as well. I've still got a massive thing that I definitely reckon that's going to drop next year.
So knowing what's coming out, because it's not just Forza or Halo or Starfield or anything, like knowing what's coming out in the horizon of Xbox, what are you most excited for? Because you know me, I'm biggest Fable fan and huge Fable fan. Like I can't wait to play Fable, but right now my excitement for Fable is actually overshadowed by Hellblade 2.
Oh, really?
I'm more excited for Hellblade 2
Traitor.
right now.
Yeah.
I guess because we haven't seen anything on Fable yet.
Well,
more excited for Hellblade 2. Don't talk. I will probably spontaneously combust.
Really, same day as well.
Same year.
Just to wind you up.
No. Well, then I couldn't make a decision as which game I had to play first. You can't tease me like that.
Yeah, that would be mental though if they did just release Fable and Hellblade 2 the same year.
Yeah.
No, but I certainly think Hellblade 2 will be 2023, Fable 2024.
Yep. Ooh, Hellblade could be early year and then Fable could end it, but I think Hellblade is going to be that end piece for your year. And like you said, you and I both think it's coming 2023, end of year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that was the shot. That was the only light. And I say the only light because there were a few other games that I really liked, but this was the thing that actually, if anything, I wish the Video Games Awards hadn't occurred and they just released this trailer and no matter what, they basically just bitch slapped everyone with that.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Especially Colin Moriarty, definitely Colin. God.
They should have done his quote just before the trailer.
Meme the hell out of that on Twitter. Twitter needs to go to town on Colin on why get Ninja Theory when drop the mic. Phil must have been, because he was sitting in the audience, he must have been so pleased with how that game showed. Yeah. Especially with the feedback, because they follow Twitter and they follow the fans and they know what's going on.
Yeah.
They must be so happy with what's happening. I'm sorry we're going on about Hellblade, guys.
Yeah,
but
they didn't have anyone from Xbox represent either go up on stage, did they?
Yeah.
That's the other thing. They had obviously Neil Druckmann go up and they had, what's his face? The Nintendo guy, what's his name?
Reggie?
Yeah, Reggie went up there and, they didn't have anyone from Xbox represent or announce anything which is a shame. Because last year, Phil went on, didn't he, when he announced... no, not last year.
2019.
Yeah, 2019. He went on and announced the Xbox X and stuff.
Series X.
Yeah. But, yeah, do you want to move on to another topic then? Or another subject
we're
than Hellblade 2?
I'm excited for what comes out for the first party for Xbox, but I'm even more excited for what third-party deals for Game Pass that will come out day one.
As I said,
yes.
we've got Ark 2.
The other game that I wanted to talk about.
Which we've not seen much of yet. Ark 2. Crossfire X, as I said, they've actually showed at the Game Awards, which looks great. They got Warhammer 40k, which has come to Xbox. We've got... I reckon we might see something like Age of Empires drop on Game Pass next year for console.
Is there any game that anyone is particularly excited about? Whether it's first party, third party, which any platform that's coming on, go on, pop it in the comments. Feel free. I was thinking of
Exomecha. That looks great. I want to play it next year. That's coming out.
A Plague's Tale Requiem, because that's Game Pass.
Yeah.
Can Microsoft just please announce that they've acquired Asobo Studios, please? Like, Xbox, just announce it. I really want that studio in Crystal Dynamics.
Reconnected, successful. Sorry, we cut off there momentarily. Crystal Dynamics were... Oh no, that was Perfect Dark, aren't they? Working on Perfect Dark.
They're helping with it.
Yeah. No, I thought they was working on something else, yeah.
They're definitely helping with it. That could be the thing that it's going to be announced that that's an acquisition.
Yeah.
It would be interesting if it was. But yeah, I really want a Sobo because I am so keen to play. I absolutely loved A Plague's Tale Innocence, like loved it. And I really want to play A Plague Tale Requiem. Like, looking at that, like, if you've seen... And that's what I think they should be showing comparisons of that game to the original, or the first game, because for what they did as a studio in A Plague's Tale Innocence, and it looked stunning, absolutely stunning for the size of the team and the story they curated. And looking at what they've done for the sequel, you can tell that the developers have learned so much from that first game that it's gone into the second game. Like, that second game, like what we saw, because that was at the Game Awards, that showed at the Game Awards, absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
And I really want to play. I didn't think there was going to be any more story after that, and I was kind of super excited that it got announced. Was it earlier this year? I don't even know when it was announced, actually, that it was getting a sequel, but keen, like keen of British spirits, keen.
Yeah. Should we go on to our final topic then? Because we've not touched on
We've waffled on everything.
The Matrix Unreal 5 tech demo.
That ended the Game Awards, right? That was the last thing of the top. Yeah, it was the Matrix tech demo. Have you downloaded it yet?
No, I've not. No. I only finished watching the end of the Game Awards. What, 5 minutes before we went live. And that's when I found out that you can download it. So I'll probably do that today and give it a go because it looks my kind of thing. Yes, I'll definitely give that a go and have a play of that. But yeah, it looks good. The interesting thing I didn't mention there is their work is Epic Games and the Coalition are working on it. So unfortunately, it's not exclusive to Xbox though.
And the original guys who helped do that in the movie 20 years ago also helped with the creation of the. Yeah, I guess to make sure that it hit the right tone and everything.
Yeah. It does look good.
So have you watched any of the videos online about the tech demo?
No, I've not. No, so I've literally just seen the trailer of the Game Awards, and that's it.
It was actually really impressive. As a tech demo, running because we downloaded it and played it on my sister played it on her Series X. Very impressive around what you could see and what you could do, because you could change things in it. Like, you could change the time of day, you could change how many cars were on screen, like vehicles, so on and so forth. You could make all these little adjustments around that, and like the density of the traffic, the detail in the game. Like, we all know that the Unreal Engine 5 is very impressive and can take advantage of what is in these consoles and the stuff in the Series X and Series S consoles that the Unreal Engine 5 can't take advantage of yet. But I think that's going to come out slowly. But so impressive to look at. Obviously, there's a lot more work to be done around different things in there. But I was super impressed with the tech demo. And wasn't there a rumor of people saying, like, that this was only available on PlayStation 5 when it first got announced, that there was going to be... When it got leaked, was it leaked? There was going to be something about...
There was
I think it got leaked.
That. Probably because it had Epic Games connected to it. So probably
I think it's exclusive. Because they're so focused on the last tech demo, the big first tech demo that Unreal Engine 5 did, and they were like, only can be played on the super fast SSD.
SSD, not
the magical unicorn.
They still believe that. I've still debated with them. They still think the demo can't run on Xbox. They still believe it, even though we've seen it, and we've had the developers themselves say no, it runs fine on Xbox, and showed a tech demo run on Xbox, but they still disbelieve it. They still said no, it won't run as well. You think it's just like they make stuff up in their head. And now we've got this tech demo of an actual game with gameplay which you can play run on Xbox Series X. So
I think Digital Foundry getting their hands on the tech demo is going to be interesting to watch what they say about it, because I know that when we were playing on it, it was hitching on certain things, like the frame rate was dropping because you were like driving through like dense traffic at fast speeds, and it wasn't. I'm pretty sure like section. I don't know what frame rate it was running at, like 30 the whole way, like FPS the whole way or something along those lines. But because it was just, like a bit jarring around certain things. But
Maybe
I think
it's
it'll be
meant to
interesting
do
to
that
see it.
because you're in the Matrix.
Yeah,
That's why it's glitching.
possibly. Yeah, possibly.
That's
It's
what I'm
interesting.
saying.
Like if you run into someone, like you ran over someone by mistake, like
Yeah.
if you're a bad driver, like my sister is. No, I'm kidding. She's a good driver.
Yeah.
It's just
We talk about real
on
life
video.
now, or
Yeah, no, don't hate me, Coral. And when you ran over them, they like turned to like zeros and ones, like in the Matrix.
oh, is that right? Does it make the noise? Like, noise.
No, that would have like made my day.
Yeah, it would
But
have.
like cars, like the level of detail in like if you because you can go up to a car and like drive it like as long as no one's in it. Like any car that's parked, you can go up, press A and drive. When you hit another car, like car physics, obviously not fruit physics, but car physics, the level of like damage and detail was so realistic on car damage. I was like, could be real life.
Really?
And then the cars dissolved eventually into zeros and ones, but they despawned. But I was really impressed with the potential of what we can see, because Unreal Engine 5 is a very, I guess, diverse type of engine. Like so many different games and developers and so on and so forth is going to come out
Actually, that is a good
of
point.
Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah, yeah. Which, yeah, as I said, I think next, we've got Stalker 2, which is using Unreal Engine 5. That comes out in
6
April, so
will
it'd be
be.
interesting to see. Yeah. And Hellblade
That'll
2.
be interesting to see Gear 6 and Unreal Engine 5.
Oh, I was going to say though, so can you kill fruit in the Matrix? Have you just tried
I
killing
didn't
fruit?
see any
Was that your
fruit.
first thing you
There
did when you load up the game? I'm going to walk around and kill fruit. No? Okay.
I was like, where's my ability to like hook shot, whatever? I can't even think of the word it is, but
Yeah.
obviously it's
Or
much louder in my
fly.
mind.
Can you fly? Like he does at the end.
You can fly,
Oh, you can?
but
Oh, right.
in the sense of flying, like if you were like a drone, in my opinion.
Oh.
Um,
So you're not like
yeah. So
Superman
there's
like he does, where he just takes
the
off
idea is the idea is for flying. I thought it was going to be cool. I thought it was going to be like Matrix flying, where you like
Yeah.
see Neo like do the cool stance and like fly
yeah,
up and like all the
supersonic speed.
no,
Yeah,
it's more
like
like
Superman. Yeah.
more like free camera, where you
rubbish.
go up and you can kind of move around and look around at the different worlds, and then you can adjust the settings, and you can really see it from afar about the settings you adjust.
Yeah.
Yeah, so to see the potential of what the engine can do, and knowing the fact that Xbox does use a lot of the studios do use Unreal Engine, and we've got the coalition who, like you said, helped develop this, like
Very
supported.
experienced. They said that in the thing. The coalition, one of the most experienced devs with the Unreal Engine 5. So they've been
Yeah, and
working on it every year.
if you watch any of the what's the word for it, talks about Unreal Engine 5, and specifically talks to do with the coalition, they talk about giving feedback to Epic about the engine and making improvements and working things out and so on and so forth. So it's going to be really interesting to see what they do with Gear 6.
Yeah.
But
And
I
everyone said that
think
too.
the coalition is probably maybe being talking to. I think, fingers crossed, they have maybe Ninja Theory to help with anything. If they're like, how do you do
Yeah.
this? They have like a speed dial the coalition, and they go, try this, and it works. Because for what, honestly, all I want to do is play Hellblade 2.
Yeah, because didn't Ninja
Oh,
Theory,
fair
was it
enough.
Ninja Theory or just Xbox in general? They bought that capture motion studio, didn't they?
I think it's Ninja Theory.
Yeah.
No, Ninja Theory did their own. They made their own capture stuff.
I'm pretty sure Xbox
Yeah.
bought a capture motion studio that specialises
I don't know.
in capture motion, which Ninja Theory uses.
I think Xbox. I think someone else did. Was it Ubisoft? No, I'm pretty sure it was another publisher. I don't think it was Xbox. But I think it was another publisher. Did that actually? But we're waffling. We are waffling as per usual.
Should we call it a day?
call it a day. Other
Yeah.
than, I guess, recap very quickly. Valkyrie Studio by PlayStation, like acquisition. Well done for acquiring another studio, and I hope you see the fruits of that over the next coming years,
Yeah.
PlayStation gamers, and one day I might invest in a PlayStation
One day.
one day.
Yeah.
But I just wish PlayStation One is, I guess, more open around why they have done what they've like, why they're going and purchasing these guys, what they like. Is there a reason behind it? Did they see something that
Yeah.
these guys want to do and work on, and that's the reason
Just
why
get a hint.
they've
Yeah. What they
they've
do.
acquired them? Because I think that's, I don't know. You and I were talking about it earlier. Go
Yeah.
back and
Yeah.
watch the beginning of the podcast where we're talking about it. Um, Talking about the video game awards, like really love. I didn't like the video game awards at all.
Yeah.
Couldn't stand it.
Yeah.
Watching it, obviously, I liked seeing the announcements, and I wish that could have just been, but all the filler rubbish crap in it, and it
There's a
didn't
lot of
feel
filler.
like the awards got the, I guess, the audience that they deserved. Like, I feel like a lot of them were just kind of brushed over very
Yeah.
quickly, as you and I were saying. And then Hellblade 2,
Yeah.
hands down, like I will bow down to Hellblade 2 because
Carry the show.
Ninja
And can you imagine
Theory is
what
great.
E3 is going to be like now? Because we'll most likely see maybe possibly more of Hellblade 2, but we'll most certainly see stuff like Starfield, and I reckon we'll see Fable and stuff like that, and how incredible they can. I mean, remember Playground Games working on Fable, and look at Forza Horizon 5, so it's going to be a mental E3.
Hi, Manuel. Nice. Yeah, pop in. Go back to sleep. I know it's hella early over in the
Yeah,
States.
sorry.
Sorry to interrupt you, Elite. But yes, watch it back later. We'll maybe message me on Twitter, or something like that, and we'll have a bit of a chat around your thoughts on that at some point. But yeah,
Yeah,
and
we're
then
going to end the
the
show now, yeah. Oh, go on.
we
Sorry.
just, yeah, I was just to say, like, the tech demo, the Unreal Engine 5 tech demo, very impressive.
Yeah.
What they showed. So Elite, download it,
I'm going to do that
try
today.
it out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see it on the Series S, and
What's
then
it?
go online and see what the Series X version was, because I
Yeah.
really hope Digital Foundry shows us, and does a deep dive about that tech demo.
Yeah. As I said, I'm going to take my dogs to have their injection, and then I'm going to chill for a couple of hours, so then I'll play Matrix in that time, and some more Halo Infinite.
Thank you all for watching, as per
Yes.
usual, and we're gonna try and do the next week's show actually at a decent time.
Yeah.
And it's probably gonna be our last official show before Christmas New Year area.
But we might have a Christmas special, which will be a recorded show coming up.
Pre-recorded
Yeah,
show, yeah.
pre-recorded. Yeah, over Christmas. But I might release that Christmas Eve or something like that to give everyone something to enjoy Christmas Eve.
When they don't want to talk to their family.
Yeah. Just blank the family out
When-
of the head scene. Yeah.
When you've got no more video games to play, PlayStation gamers, watch our video.
Yeah, we'll be bored. Watching
won't be
Horizon
8
Zero Dawn
hours
trailer for
worth of
eighth time. Yeah.
Yeah, but I just appreciate everyone who tunes in every
Yeah, thank you
week,
guys.
and
Especially this early
and
morning.
hit that like
So,
button. Put
please
something in
sub
the
and
comments
share.
about
Please sub
yeah.
Red and myself.
Put
Please
something in the
share.
comments around what was your highlight from the Game Awards, guys. I really want to hear your thoughts on what you really loved about the Game Awards, what you didn't like about the Game Awards, and if you thought Hellblade was a downgrade, because
Yeah.
if you did, give me your address and I will hunt you down.
Yeah, that's
No, I
what
won't.
I'm
I
saying.
won't.
I know
I'm not
where
that.
you
I'm not that crazy.
Yeah.
But I could be. No. Okay. Have a great rest of the weekend, everybody, and
Thank
yeah,
you. And
See you
goodbye for
later.
now.
guys.
Bye.